World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
Live from Soul City. Good morning, community. Good morning, community is a platform where members of our community can find out more about small businesses, authors, artists, entrepreneurs, members of our community, and community-based organizations. Also, how to get involved, connect online, volunteer, or donate, as well as some of the resources and services they provide. At Good Morning Community, we offer encouragement, share resources. We encourage you to hold yourself accountable. And most importantly, we genuinely want to see you win. My name is Eartha Watts Hicks. I'm the CEO of Eartha Tone Books, publisher of Love Changes, Graffiti Mural, and The Planner is a Girl's Best Friend, as well as a freelance writer, editor, and PR writer and affiliate for blackpr.com. Executive editor for Harlem World Magazine and longtime member of the Harlem Writers Guild. It's June and everyone everywhere is celebrating the Knicks and the Knicks' big win. And we're also approaching Juneteenth. And today we have a very, very special guest, Dr. Kevin Lambright. Now, Dr. Kevin Lambright is a passionate author dedicated to exploring the fields of mind, body, and spirit, as well as inspiration and personal growth. Drawing on his background in philosophy and his gift for storytelling, Dr. Kevin Lambright is the author of The Divine Within, a metaphysical approach to your truth. He offers readers a compelling exploration of spirituality, consciousness, and personal transformation. Blending philosophical insight with practical guidance, the book is ideal for readers interested in metaphysical studies, personal development, and spiritual exploration. It explores a non-traditional approach to spiritual growth and invites individuals to discover their inner power and encourages readers to embrace authenticity and cultivate a life of fulfillment and purpose. Welcome, Dr. Kevin Lambright.
Wow, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Now, congratulations on the release of your book. Can you please tell, in your own words, tell us a little bit about it and some of your insights and your background and how do you speak to the subject matter?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that this was not an easy thing in the very beginning, because when I started writing, I didn't know which direction I was going to go in. I knew where I wanted to end up, but how was like a really big problem for me, because I've always been a spiritual individual, but growing up, I came into religion at a very young age because I was very confused. My my mother was Methodist, but she would send us to church with our Baptist, Baptist church with my cousins. And my family was just really all over the place because I had cousins who were Muslim. I had cousins who were Jehovah's Witness, cousins who were Baptist. So growing up, I was really a confused child because I also went to Catholic school. Okay. So, when thinking about the divine or thinking about God and religion, wherever I was, I just adapted to wherever I was. When I was in Catholic school, I was Catholic. When I was on Sundays, sometimes I would be Baptist, sometimes I would be Muslim, and sometimes I would be Jehovah's Witness. So by the time I entered into my teens, when you're a young boy growing up in the South Bronx, when, at age 12 and 13 years old, a lot of changes happen in your life. And but I always sought some sort of understanding of. I started even so at the age of 12 and 13. I just wanted I wanted to know more, and then I got confused, and then I just said, "There's no such thing as God." I mean, because it was just everybody's lying to me. Everyone is lying to me. Why, and people I love are lying to me, and that's how I felt at age 13. And I had really started writing and like doing poetry, and I was into the theater. I just always kept myself busy. And I'm fortunate because my mother was very supportive of just about anything that I did growing up. So as I, got into past my teens and got into adulthood, still confused and still just trying to avoid certain things, especially when it came to getting into conversations or debates with religion. And because I had to answer to no matter what religion you were in, because any of the four that I was involved in, told and what each environment placed me in. So by the time I had children of my own, I realized that I was keeping my kids and I was steering them away from the direction of religion. When anyone said something, I to them, and I would, just try to tell them, do not provoke them, stay out of those type of conversations. Don't discuss religion with anyone because you're just going to be all over the place. And basically what I was saying to them was how I was feeling about myself. And I was, injecting all of this stuff into them. But with everything else, I let them explore. I supported them in everything else they did. But when it came to religion, that was hands off, because I was afraid for them because I was afraid for myself. And to this very day, I always say that I'm a successful father because my children are, all doing very well. It's 4 of them. It's not like a whole bunch, but it's 4 of them. And they're all adults and have different personalities. But at age 32, I felt like something was empty inside me. I was writing all the time. I was writing, but the stuff I was writing had nothing to do with where I am in my life today. I was writing erotica, okay? Back then, completely a whole different end of the spectrum. But some things were missing. And my youngest daughter, at the age of 8, said to me, "Daddy, where is God and what does God look like?" And because she heard conversations that I had on the phone with other people, and she said, what does God look like? So what I told her to do was, and this is just off the top of my head, I said, go look in the mirror. Go look in the mirror and just watch. Look in your own eyes. Don't concentrate on your face. Don't concentrate on your anything. Just look in your own eyes. And do that for about 1 minute. Just keep looking at your own eyes. Then close your eyes. Then close your eyes and tell me what you see. And she said, Daddy, when I closed my eyes, I kept seeing myself in the mirror. I kept seeing me. And when I told her to do this, I had no idea what the outcome was going to be, what she was going to tell me. I had no idea. It was just something to give her to do so that I can stay away from the answering the question, basically. And she said, I see me. I keep seeing myself. And that's what sparked it in me. So I started to do research, and I took a few courses, quite a few courses, and I wanted to know more about theology. I wanted to know and history, and I was in search of answers because I really felt bad that I could not really give my own daughter an answer to the question that she wanted, and she was sincere. She wasn't, trying to be facetious or anything. She really wanted to know. And I felt like I never answered her. But throughout my studies, I realized after about maybe 3 years, I realized I did answer her. And one of the ways, what I don't like to do is I don't even, and I can tell you in the last 10 years, I would never debate people about religion because, like I said, I experienced different religions in my life growing up. So, and I know most of the people, or should I say the parishioners on each religion, they really believed in what they studied and their religion. They were true believers. And I came to the conclusion that whatever it is you believe is your truth. That's your truth. And whatever, and my book even says, I try to stress that as long as you are not hurting anyone else, you're not trying to stop someone in believing whatever it is they believe, even if they're atheist. If it makes whatever they believe and they follow it, if it makes them a good person and allows them to do good things, not just for themselves, but for other people, I have no problem with it. I have no problem with it. And I'm sorry, did someone say something? Oh, okay. And that's how I live my life now. So I got heavy into metaphysics, not knowing that I was really studying metaphysics most of my life, and not realizing that it had a name. And so I got into metaphysics because it just matched everything that I believed in. And so that's how I came to where I am today. Along with the other stuff in between, I've always had an empathy for seniors and always did volunteer work. And I taught my children to do the same. All 4 of my children when I went to go vote, they went to go vote. When I went to some business meetings and organizational meetings, I would take some of them along with me. It was always usually the youngest one I would always take with me. Of course, when they get to be around a certain age, they don't want to be around their parents all the time. So, but that's how I got to where I am now. There's a whole bunch of things in between that now. So, but the Divine Within came about 2 years ago is when I started writing it. And I just started doing it as just writing down little excerpts. And about 8 months ago is when I put it all together. And, I took out some stuff, I added some stuff. And, I can tell you 2 weeks before going to publishing, there were some things that came to me that I said needs to be in here. So I did that. And it was interesting. And it's a good feeling to sit back and go, and look back and say, this is what I've accomplished. This is what I did. And even better than that is when people tell me they love it. It's helped them so much, and that they can, they can go back to their church and their pastors and tell them that they read my book and they're not upset, because my book is not really about any one religion. It's really about teaching you how to connect with the God within you, how to bring you closer and to have a personal relationship with God, no matter what religion you're in. I hope I answered some of those questions.
I think so. I mean, I'm listening and I'm trying to see where, because I know I'm Christian, so I'm seeing where the overlap is and where the understanding is guiding me. So in your own word, can you elaborate on what metaphysics is for those of us who are not completely sure?
Okay. I do this and I'm very wordy, and I've been told I've been mushed in the face by my wife. And the dictionary version definition of metaphysics is like it's a foundational branch of philosophy that studies the ultimate nature of reality, existence, and being. Now, I don't want to sound crazy, but there are different levels of metaphysics. Is ontology, there's cosmology, and then there's mind and body. So when you read like a bio on me, and it expressed that I'm really interested in studying mind and body and bringing spirituality all together. But metaphysics is basically the study of it's philosophy. It's a form of philosophy, but it's about casuality and measuring time and space, free will. It's a number of things. I told you I'd rather read the dictionary version so people can understand, because I feel it. I feel when I feel it. Trying to express it in just words by just talking it, and it's an emotional thing for me, which is why I write better than I speak. so.
I understand that piece, because I know I write way better than I speak. And sometimes I kind of get stuck when trying to explain something. So I understand what that's like. Okay, so let's circle back. Your writing process. How long did it take you to complete the work? And how did you stay motivated? And I know getting from page 1 to page 199 is not easy. What was that process like for you?
Wow. So this is an emotional thing too for me. Like I said, I started on this journey as far as writing it about 2 years ago. But the way I did it was, I was going to do like a podcast and just initially, and I said, I'm going to need stuff to speak on, to try to express myself. So I knew that I wrote better than I spoke. So I started writing different excerpts, and I would, for me, whenever I get stuck on, I just walk away from it, because I'll get frustrated. So I'll walk away from something and I'll reread, and it's never to my 100% satisfaction. And so I go back to it and I try to separate myself from myself by looking at it as if I'm someone else reading something for the first time. And if it doesn't move me, if I cannot feel it, then I have to scratch it, because I want to impact. I want to be able to touch people. And the only way I can see that happening is if I'm touched by it. So it took me, like I said, 2 years for it to come to fruition. But I did it in little excerpts. Like I might write 3 or 4 paragraphs. And only recently what I was doing was, because, this new technology and everything with the phone, I have like a memo pad, and I can speak into it in my phone and it'll write it out for me. Not always perfect, of course, but it would write it out for me. And I go like, okay, now let me take that and let me just save it. I'm going to use it. If not for this, I'll use it for something else, and that's over really a 2-year period. So that's how I that's how I write. And I don't want to say unfortunately or fortunately, because whatever comes out, I look back and I go like, wow, where did I get that from? Would I be able to duplicate that? I told you that I do a lot of community work, and I live in the largest cooperative complex in the world, Co-op City in the Northeast Bronx. Okay, and I'm on the board of directors. So, and I'm a part of quite a few organizations. So, but I have to write a viewpoint. Okay, we have a newspaper that goes to every single over 15,000 units every week. So when I write something, I wanted to have meaning. I don't want to be like all the other directors. I want to write something that affect people, that they can feel, that they can go like, wow. And so sometimes I outdo myself, and then the following week comes and I go like, I have to top what I wrote, because people are expecting it, my father told me, he said, you got to be careful what you do. He said, whatever you do for people, they will always expect it. They will always expect it, So I always wanted to be better. And I've been on the board of directors now for 8 years. 8 years. So it's been fun at the same time. The writing part is where I have fun. Okay. It's just all the other duties that I don't really enjoy, but I know that I'm impacting people. And I want to make sure that impact is always positive.
When did you first identify as a writer?
This is the funny stuff. When I was in 5th grade, my teacher wrote something on the board, Miss Kaplan. She wrote something on the board, and she wanted us to finish it. She wrote, if I were a tuna and lived in the sea, an average day for me would be. And I remember this, and I can't remember the whole thing, and I wish I had a copy of that. But so we were sitting in class, and I wrote it out, right? And I wrote, follow the tail of a great white whale and whatever, right? So I just kept going. And so she looked at me, she says, where did you get this from? I'm sitting in class with everybody else. And so she said, this is good. She says, good, right? And that's it, whatever, right? Then Muhammad Ali was like very popular at the time, and he was always rhyming and stuff. And I wanted to be Muhammad Ali, And so I wrote, I wrote the very first poem I ever really wrote was, the Muhammad is a savior. Of course he will amaze you. He waits for the right time to begin to blow your mind. I know he can't be beaten because they just keep retreating. To him, it has no meaning. He just keeps on beating. I haven't much time, so I have to end this rhyme. So here I am to say goodbye till another day. And I held on to it. I showed my mother. My mother was like, anything I did, my mother always made act like it was like the greatest thing, like, oh, it's amazing and whatever it is. And she took it and she put it in a frame. And I remember I had a homework assignment, and I took it out of the frame and I used it. I didn't even rewrite it. I just took that and what I had written before months ago, and I used it as a homework assignment. And the teacher gave me a 0 and a frowning face on it, and said, you were not supposed to copy something out of a book. You're supposed to do it yourself. And so I said, but I did. And she says, no, you did not. And, I was upset, and I went home and told my mother, and she says, I saw you take that. I saw the frame was missing. It's gone. I know everything that's missing in this house. And so I said, yeah, I took it. And, she says, your teacher said what? So my mother went to school, and she told her that he wrote that at home, And she says, no, he did not. She argued with my mother. So eventually, they put me in a cubicle, okay? And they told me, write a poem.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't. I was nervous. I'm all I'm thinking about, I'm in this cubicle. It's like being in a jail. You know what I mean? I'm locked in, and I just couldn't write. And so the teacher's point was proven, okay, whatever it is, right? But while she and my mother were in the office talking, I wrote something. I wasn't under pressure. I was in another. I wasn't in that cubicle saying, write something. And I wrote something, and it's called "I Don't Want to." I got different titles for it. It was the unborn child speaks, and and it was, I don't want to be born. I'd rather stay here because soon I'd be gone and no one would ever know I was there. But tell me, am I somebody now? Do I have to be born in order to be someone? Do I have to live to be alive? Do I have to be born in order to die? If I'm born, will they like me or will they hate me? I forget the rest. So that's when I really started writing. And I was 11, I think. I was 11 years old. And I started writing from then on because I was feeling myself. And then I started writing plays, and that's how I began.
Oh, wow. We have a lot of similarities in our youth. I know I had an experience where I was accused of cheating on a major test for a major institution that was supposedly for gifted students. And when I spoke to several individuals who were all in the same age range during that time who took that same test, they were found by the same institution to have been accused of cheating, where in their own school they tested like a certain higher level, but for this particular institution, it was just something that was common back in my youth. I'll just say my youth, I'm not sure if we're in the same generation or not, and we probably are. We probably got birthdays.
I'm 63 years old. I'm 63.
Well, I would not know whether you were 43, 53, or 63. You wear it very well.
Oh, thank you. You get points for that one.
No, you definitely do. Yeah. So I would say you being 63, the educational system was a little bit more discriminatory when it came to the expectations of what Black children could accomplish, what we were capable of, the manifestations of our ideas and our potential and our ingenuity. They just didn't understand it. They didn't understand how we could do more with less. Shame on them. Shame on them. And do you still write poetry?
Yes. It's been a while, but I got away from it because my mindset has changed. And when I was younger, I was very I was very different than I am now. I wasn't a bad person, but I was mischievous, and most of the stuff I got into girls at a young age, okay, and I wanted to be liked, I wanted to be loved, I wanted a lot of the things that a lot of adults and in relationships are going through now. But as a kid, because I felt I had a talent and I used it. I used to use it to get girls. That was my inspiration. That's how I've been married twice. So my first wife, that's how I got her in high school. I wrote her a poem that was, is this a family show?
Yeah.
But it's not bad. It was called Mystifying Beauty. The ebony of my love desires can only be defined as the sun's fertilic fires. With your passionate look and seductive thighs, you bring forth a sparkle in my eyes. The obscenity in your streaming form ignites an energetic vision of my love being born. Because when the warmth of your body touches mine, I crave your love, for the feeling is oh so divine. My love started from secret sensitivity and has risen to a sensual ecstasy. You are my love, though seduction be your duty. Yes, my only love, my mystifying beauty. I ended up marrying her. She
You
was the
see that?
prettiest girl, and I was no, I'm not tall, dark, and handsome. I wasn't none of those things, but and she was the best looking woman in the whole school, and I got her.
Oh,
And so you know what had to happen after that. Valentine, I always had to write poetry. That's what she expected, and that's what I did, and I enjoyed doing that. I really did.
wow. Well, I'm gonna say this. At least you were in high school.
Now, but something was wrong, because here's a 15-year-old kid writing stuff like that.
Well,
Um,
I'm gonna say this. I was 5 years old and I knew all the words to Barry White's Ecstasy, and I didn't even know what
really?
ecstasy meant. So at
Wow,
15,
wow,
at
wow.
15, for you to have ideas that were poetically inclined, I think you
Yeah.
were on the right track.
Mm, mm. Yes.
Kids, the little ones, that's why I say you got to be careful. The little ones, you turn on that radio, they're little sponges.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And I, being aware of that, I always said, if I ever have kids and I have daughters, I'm not gonna make it, because I know what how my mind was, and the things I was thinking. So, but you know what? My daughter's my eldest daughter is let me get this right, because she might see this. My oldest daughter's in her 40s. Okay, and my youngest daughter is in her 30s. And you know what? And I have 2 daughters and 2 sons. But my daughters, I don't worry about them. I don't worry about them. I don't have to. My sons, I worry about. When it comes to relationships, I worry about them. But my daughters, they know, understand, and they're in control of every situation that they can ever be in, and they've been prepared for a long time. Yes, but I have to say, I'm at 63. I'm not a grandfather now. I'm not a grandfather, and it's my fault because of the way I raised my children. I said, they're not looking for the perfect mate for themselves. They all love children. They're looking for the perfect partner to raise a child. They like, my sons are looking for the perfect mother for their children. My daughters are looking for the perfect father for to be their husband. So they're not looking they're not looking as far as relationship wise, which a lot of that is my fault of what I've instilled in them. And they're old enough now to make decisions on their own, but I put some stuff in their head, which I may not have been good,
Well, let me say this. I say 2 things. I say, if nobody sinned, none of us will be here.
That's true. That's true.
And then I also say, if I waited for the perfect person, my children wouldn't be here. So, life is what it is. It's making the best of what we have, and just being, I'm going to use the L word, just being in love with someone makes you, it clouds your judgment.
Oh, it does. It does. It does. And it does. A lot of people in relationships, and I don't really, in this particular book, I'm writing another one now, but in this particular book that we're discussing, I really delve into self-improvement, because and you'll hear a lot of people say, oh, you have to fix yourself. You have to make sure you're right before you get into a relationship with someone else. But sometimes, and most times, it takes someone else to help us do that. And you can't do that with someone you don't trust, and someone who you're not 100% sure if they really love you.
Mhm.
A lot of times we put in our own heads, we can say that, oh, we can pretend that somebody loves us, and we already know that they don't, but we can do that on the surface. But everyone needs to have that feeling of love. Well, the first person we usually love, I mean, when we come on this earth, it's our mothers. We're in our mother's arms, and that's like, that's every boy's first love. That's every girl's first love, and so it's relationships are hard. Relationships are hard, but they're also easy. They're also easy. You just have to know how to balance your life. And when you bring someone else into your life, always, and this is what I tell my kids, when you get into a relationship with someone, before you do, you got to understand something. Know it for what it is. You're bringing someone, you have your own issues. And now you're going to be dealing with your issues and someone else's issues. But usually in the beginning, we all want to show the best sides of ourselves.
Oh yeah.
We always show the best sides. We hide everything else. But I tell them, I tell my daughters mostly, I've told them, when you get into a relationship, find out how this person is with his family, find out how he is amongst his friends, find out how he when he's happy and everything is going great, if he's selfish, if he's self-centered. When he's angry, find out, you want to see him when he's angry. Does he punch walls? Does he go around, cursing people out? You want to see him at his worst, and you want to see him at his best. Then you have to determine whether or not you want to deal with that. Can you deal with that? Before you start looking at all the good stuff, because you're going to see all of that stuff in the beginning, whatever, even stuff that you put in your own mind, you're going to see the greatness in the person because you love her, you have feelings towards that person. But I know that the wedding is just a wedding. It's just a day.
Mm-hmm.
And the honeymoon is just a honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
And, 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, there's no wedding, there's no honeymoon.
Mm-mm.
Now it's life in reality. So life is about choices.
Mm-hmm.
Life is really about choices.
Yes, yes. I want to say congratulations and happy Father's Day
Oh, thank you.
on being a presence to incredible human beings,
Mm-hmm.
a presence for incredible human beings, a guidance for incredible human beings, and a wonderful example for incredible human beings.
Mm-hmm.
In your book, do you I'm going to say it this way, do you give us examples of how your understanding led you to become a better father figure, and a teacher to your children?
Actually, I do it in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Because my family says, oh, you got a story. You're going to turn it into a story. Everything is a story. Like in my conversations, because I use, I give them examples of, and that's the best way for me to explain stuff. But in my writing, in this book, I didn't do that. And I didn't go too personal with it. Initially, I did. I gave stories, examples, so that because I wanted people to understand in case they missed what I was saying. So I would create a story, and most of my stories are real stories. I just changed the names. but I saw what was happening, what I was doing. I was doing what I normally do in my everyday life that irritates some people. So I said, I'm not going to do that in the book because I just want to stay focused, because when I start a story, I got another story coming right behind it that in a whole nother different direction, and it all links up eventually, but it's just I'm all over the place. So
Mhm.
in my writing with this book, I wanted to give examples, and what I would do is I would do exercises. I would give certain exercises and certain quotes for people to say to themselves, because when you oh, here's a good example. And well, you said that you were Christian,
Mhm.
so am I. And I'm not saying it just to be, just to. If you were Muslim, a part of me is Muslim as well. Okay, um, because
I'm sorry.
it's okay, it's okay. So what I do is, oh, here's a situation. Oh, a friend, I'll say, um, she is super religious. I mean, like everything in like Jesus. She's into it, and everything is even on when you call her her phone and her voicemail comes on. For the love of Jesus and Christ, and that's all you hear, and she does that for about 20 seconds. It makes you just want to hang up. You know, that's her introduction to call me back. You know what I mean? And it's just so. But she said to me, she said, God, every time she said, well, God told me. So one day I said to her, I, s- you know, I said, when told you this, how did God tell you it? Did he tell you it in a dream, or is it he or she? And she looked at me and she was upset. You know God is not a she. And I'm like, okay. And then she said, God told me whatever, right? And I said, well, what did he sound like? What did God sound like when he told you? And she said, what do you mean? What do you mean? You sound like God. I said, let me ask you, when God was talking to you, did it sound like your voice? Was it a voice that? And she said, well, yeah, it was God. And she started getting irritated. And I realized that too, because I didn't want to antagonize her or irritate her. I just wanted her to understand and to know that she has a personal relationship with God, and she didn't have to have a preacher, a pastor, or any third party at the time to connect her with God when she had that conversation with God. And that was one of but she didn't get that. You know what I mean? So I always look for better ways to approach it, and let people see whatever you're believing. I always say belief is stronger than the truth. But your belief is your truth. Whatever your truth is, if it makes you a better person and allows you to do things not just better for yourself, but for other people, then it's the truth. It's real. Um, I've been asked, oh, so if a person believes, if a person believes that they should go kill a bunch of people, and that's that's their truth. And um, unfortunately, it is their truth for that moment. It's their truth. Um, we might see it as a sickness, and I was just about to get into the political side of it too, using the president of the United States, because he believes everything that he says, and it's been working for him. Okay, it's been working for him. Um, and people often say, "Well, look at this. Why is this happening? Why is God making this happen? Why is whatever it is?" And trying not to get into so much politics, but that voice that you hear when you want to do something, or when you believe something, that voice is what guides you. You can control what that voice says from time to time. You can control that voice, and it all comes from your beliefs. One of the things I've always said is that I try to concentrate on is I don't want things outside of me to control how I feel inside. So, like, they say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
Words hurt. Words hurt. And if you believe in the Bible, in the beginning was the Word, and that speaks volumes.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you speak, you can often manifest. Because if you speak what you believe, it becomes your truth. And you guide that, you create that just in your belief. And in the book, there are exercises that I have for people to test that within themselves and to be able to go back and think about incidents and things that's happened in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Something I didn't mention. I'm also a songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote some songs for some individuals. Pretty good, if I can pat myself on the back. But years later, they were living the life of the songs that they sang.
Mm-hmm.
Something just came to mind. There's a rap record, Slick Rick, talking about
Children's story.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I don't mention these things in my book, but I give examples of it and ways that you can control it so that it works for you. And that's all I want to do. So people ask me, well, how's your sales? And I don't concentrate on sales. I want to get the message out. Because one of the things, and I'm going to say this as people of color, sometimes we fail to, or we don't like to share resources. When we learn something, we hold on to it. We don't want to share it. We have to stop doing that.
Mm-hmm.
We need to support and promote one another. And I have no problem. Whenever I learn something, I have no problem sharing it. And some people say, well, that's valuable. You shouldn't share that for free. You could make that into a business. I am business minded, but I believe in people more so than money, because money means nothing without people. You could be the only person on earth, and if you have $1 billion in front of you, it means absolutely nothing. Nothing. So I know I can go on, but if you have something else you want to ask me.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, you and I, we thought wise, we tend to have in my own opinion, we have a lot in common. In my novel, Love Changes, I address the same thing in terms of the songs that we sing manifest in the things that we do. And I even quote Candy Staten, victims of the songs I sang. Same concept. So it leads back to like just 3 Bible verses that I know of, which is there's power of life and death in the tongue. Call them that are not as though they were, and speak grace to your mountains. So I understand and appreciate you exploring that in a way that's nonfiction, because I do it in fiction. But for you to express that in a way that's nonfiction, it sort of breaks it down so that readers can get a clearer understanding of what's what. And I love seeing how we can have similar ideas and you're able to express it in a different way, because sometimes one person speaking to someone, they just don't receive it. They need to hear it from a different person, a different way, in order for it to land. And sometimes someone female saying something over and over, it doesn't land, but someone male coming in and saying the exact same thing, it lands. So I love how you're shaping these concepts, and I'm interested in reading the book to see how it sort of covers different denominations, whether a person is Christian, whether a person is Muslim, how they're able to incorporate these concepts into their own thought process and their own acceptance of self. But before I say anything else, I would love to know and love for our readers to know how to connect with you online. If you have an Instagram, if you have a TikTok, YouTube, wherever our listeners can connect with you and find out more about you, your work, your book, please let us know.
Absolutely. I have to admit that I'm not so much of a social media person, but I'm learning. Which is why I'm looking to do a podcast, or maybe I'll talk to your producer and see how maybe I can do something. I'll have that conversation. But my book is in Amazon. You can go to Amazon Books. You can also Barnes and Noble. But if you want a discount, go to books.by/Lambright. That's my last name. So that's books, BOOKS dot by BY/Lambright, LAMBRIGHT. Oh, it's on the screen, I think. Okay.
Yes.
That because, and I'm going to tell you, I just getting into this book selling and publishing stuff. The publishing company that I'm using, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna tell you, it's like the old music industry used to be when they sell records. You get 10 cents on, 3 cents or half a cent on a dollar. Amazon sells my book hardcover. They sell it hardcover. They're selling it for $34.95. And I get $3 out of my own book.
Okay. I can have a separate conversation with you about that. Yeah, offline. So we can have a whole sidebar conversation, and I can let you know some tips and tricks and hacks and things like that. But I also would encourage you. Are you a New Yorker?
Yes, I am. Okay.
So I would encourage you to become connect with volunteer lawyers for the arts.
Okay.
It's for you. It should be free of charge. Reach out and give them a call. VLANY.org. You can call them and set up an appointment, and they can sort of guide you through some questions if you have any legal questions pertaining to your art and how you do your art. And as you mentioned, hey, we shouldn't just hoard all the resources. We should just share and tell people and this, that, and the other. And that's been my philosophy for a number of years. It's there's not a shortage of resource. If there's a shortage or limitation in access, it's because we're not sharing information. And it's like if it's warm inside and everybody's standing outside, the door is cold. Why not invite people into the room? But yeah, so I love that we, our thoughts line up insofar as like point for point. It's like we're thinking the same things in different individuals. So that's just funny how life is. You can meet someone brand new for the first time and your thoughts are in sync.
And I think we're at least one generation apart, at least.
Right. And
you
definitely got me
maybe
when you started. No, it's not. No, no. We're closer than you think, but I'll just let my age be a secret. But we're closer than you think. But I do want to say, darn it, I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. But yeah, I think it's positivity and just living life and doing the right thing is hard enough. So however we can keep ourselves and others inspired, is the way to go. Are you on? Let me tell you about Goodreads. Goodreads is the place for you to go if you want to find readers who are interested in your subject matter, or to even share more of what your book is like. And I want to remind our readers of the title of your book, The Divine Within, a metaphysical approach to your truth.
Yeah.
Yes. And also too, as you meet readers, encourage them to leave reviews.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you're listening, the book is available on Amazon. I'm sure it's on Barnes and Noble as well.
Yes.
Amazon and Barnes and Noble. Is it available in Kindle?
Yes.
Barnes and Noble, Kindle, Amazon. Support the book, support the author. You on Facebook?
Yes. Kevin Lambright, as Kevin Lambright.
Okay. And he's on Facebook as Kevin Lambright. Follow him on Facebook.
And
Like
Instagram. Oh shucks. Instagram. I'm recent on Instagram. I think it's KL Bright Audio. I'm not. I'm getting used to Instagram and TikTok.
Well, here's what you could do. When the show goes onto our YouTube channel, where it sits in a nice, pretty little archive, you could go into the comments and add your socials right in the comment.
Oh, fantastic!
Our listeners can get that information right from there. Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners about your book, about your work, about your next project, anything at all?
Well, yes. There's going to be a part 2 to the book as well, and there's going to be stories. It's going to be based on stories. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. And tell all your friends, if you have a Bible in your home, and everyone should, this book should be right next to it.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Kevin Lambright.
Yeah.
Again, can you remind us what your Instagram is, and what your well, first of all, let's say this. Facebook is the place to go, because that's very simple. We can just find you by name, Kevin Lambright. Yeah. It's LAMBRIGHT.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're gonna add your Instagram and other socials to the
on
comment
the YouTube.
On the YouTube. Okay, great. And is there anyone you'd like to shout out real quick while you're here? Dr. Lambright? Okay, well, for those of you who are watching, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Good morning, community. Again, my name is Eartha Watts Hicks. I am your host, and as always, we're here. We love having the conversations with you. We love talking about community and what keeps us together as a community, moving forward in the right direction, doing the positive things, and sharing information and resources. If you are an author, if you are an actress, model, member of the community, part of a community-based organization, and would like to join us, hey, drop us an email. You can email me at earthatone@gmail.com, or you can even comment in one of my DMs on social media, and I'll get right back in touch with you if you give me your email. Again, my name is Eartha Watts Hicks. I'm the host of Good Morning Community. And as always, we wish you well. And again, congratulations to the Knicks. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, and happy Juneteenth. And thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.